is suing her children's father, Jason Neal, for property damage and emotional distress.
Ms. Finley, you and the defendant have 3 children together.
Correct.
And it is your claim that he destroyed some property of yours and that he subjected you to emotional distress.
Yes.
I've had a few husbands who subjected me to emotional distress over the years. Comes with the territory sometimes. I looked at your claim, and I have to tell you, before we even get started, Ms. Finley, because I'm a very fair person, I was unimpressed with your claim, so I really don't know what you're doing here seeking $5,000.
Aaliyah Finley claims her children's father, Jason Neal, owes for property damage and emotional distress.
So let's get to some facts, and I can move on with things that are current and important. Your 3 children are how old?
3, 2, and 1.
And the defendant is the father of all of those children.
Correct.
Did you ever live together?
No.
Who do you live with?
I live alone with my children.
You work?
Yes.
Who takes care of the children?
While I'm at work or
while you're at work?
They go to daycare in between my mother and my sister.
Who do you live with, sir?
I live in the wind.
You live in the wind?
Yes. Whatever direction it's going, that's where I'm
I always wanted to
living.
meet somebody who lived in the wind. Now my dream has come true. Okay, he destroyed your property. When was the first time he destroyed your property, and what did he destroy?
He vandalized my car.
He vandalized your car?
Yes.
Month and year?
September 29th, 2021.
And what have you been doing since September of 2021? We're now 2 years later.
During that time, my father had died, so it was a lot going on. I have to deal with the death of my father. I was pregnant, and as well, like, my father's from Texas, so I had to travel.
Well, you've had 2 children with him since he vandalized your car.
No, I did not.
1?
1. I was pregnant with our last child when he vandalized my car.
Your child is 1?
She's 16 months. I was pregnant with her.
What else did he do? Oh, by the way, did you drive that car?
Yes, that was my personal car.
Do you still have it?
Yes.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you fix it?
No, it was $4,500 to fix the radio.
Well, he's not paying you $4,500 for something that happened 2 years ago, madam. What's next?
After that, he broke my phone.
Month and year that he broke your phone?
It was at our baby shower. It's probably like I'm gonna say like January 2022.
Well, now that's a year and a half ago. And you managed to have a baby shower.
Yeah.
Right? So you had a baby shower, and that was after the car was vandalized.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And tell me about the phone. 30 seconds or less.
Okay, so basically, with the phone, I was having a dispute with a friend, and I guess he didn't like what was being said, so he just took my phone to end the conversation and threw my phone.
And threw it where?
On the ground.
What happened to it?
The screen cracked.
Is that the phone?
No.
So what happened to the phone?
It was broke. It was like the screen broke, and it was ink on the screen.
So what did you do? Did you get a new phone?
Yes.
When?
The next day.
You have a receipt?
I don't have the receipt for the new phone I brought, but I have a receipt for the phone he broke.
No, I need a receipt for the new phone.
Well, I don't have that, ma'am.
Well, then you don't have a case with regard to the phone. What's next?
He broke my necklace.
He broke your necklace. And when did he break your necklace?
Around the same time.
Well, tell me about it.
So this was the event at the baby shower. So he didn't like
So it was at the baby shower?
Yes.
Was it the same baby shower?
Yes. I made a joke and he didn't like it. So I was like, he's only here because I like made him come. And then he was like, no, I'm here because I love you. And then he grabbed my neck and pulled me closer to try to kiss him, and I didn't want to do that. So my necklace broke.
And this all happened in?
It all happened around
January of 2022.
Yes.
Mr. Neal, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you remember the date of the baby shower?
Absolutely.
What's the date of the baby shower?
Oh, man.
But you said absolutely. Uncross your arms. What's the date of the baby shower?
I think it was like January 7th.
In whose house?
Of family members.
From January 7th, 2022, Mr. Neal, up until today's date, were you and the plaintiff intimate? Shh. Now, look at me. Is not an answer. That's either a yes or a no. You should remember that.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And if I were to ask you the same question, Miss Finley, between January when he tried to pull you close and to kiss you and broke your necklace because you didn't want to kiss him, have you and the defendant been intimate?
No.
Yeah, I don't believe that. In any event, whether I believe it or not, you have no case against him. Your case is nonsense. I wrote nonsense when I read it. I still believe it's nonsense.
But are you
Your
sure?
case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Case is closed. This court is adjourned.
I don't even like it.
I'm feeling the way I look good, man. You know, everything's copacetic.
Because he hates himself.
You know, when you do things, out of spite, you never prevail,
I didn't tolerate it.
Oh, she lied. She, defamation of character. You don't sit up there and tell him you're not intimate with me. Look at me. How you not going to be intimate with me?
I hope he just get his life together.
Oh, we keep our space and we continue, gravitate in different directions?
I've been moved on.
Oh, I'm always be there. We're going to co-parent regardless, but other than that, significant other, nah, I don't entertain that no more.
I feel like because he's in a position where he has nothing, so he wants no one to have anything.
Back in the wind. That's the way I like it. Yeah.
I think that case can be summed up in a moment. You asked the defendant, do you know when your child's baby shower was? And he said, absolutely. Said, okay, what's the date? Well, let me think about it. That was it.
Yeah. That was a funny moment. That's going to be a TikTok moment. Okay, so you're crossing the street. He honked the horn at you. You flipped him off.
He gets out, and he starts to get loud.
That's when he pulled out about an 8-inch combat knife.
Dumb and Dumber.
Next day is when we really had an altercation.
Oh, so this is just an appetizer.
This is Judy Justice. Lucille Chacon is suing her neighbor, Seth Kaufman, for damage after Seth attacked her car.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3105, Chacon versus Kaufman.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ms. Chacon, you are here today because you believe that the defendant is responsible for damage that was done to your car.
Yes.
Your car that was being driven by your grandson.
Yes.
This is the grandson.
Yes.
They had some altercation, and one or both of them may have gotten a little bit injured during the course of the altercation. But what took the most of a beating was your automobile.
Yes.
Were you present during that incident?
Not while the incident was happening, but I did come out later on.
Well, I'm not interested in what happened later on, because the defendant's position is that it was your grandson that precipitated this whole problem, and he was merely reacting to what your grandson had done. So since you are not a witness to any of this, I'm going to have you change places with your grandson.
Okay.
Go like this.
I'm sorry.
Tell me your name.
My name is James Abeda.
James.
Yes.
How old are you, James?
I'm 19 years old.
What do you do?
I'm a plumber.
Your first name.
Seth,
How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
What do you do?
I'm a cook
Where?
at a senior living in Oceanside.
Both working. Hallelujah moment. A 19 and a 22-year-old who were actually employed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you know him?
I didn't know him until this altercation happened, and I found out he was my neighbor.
Okay. This incident happened on...
I think it was September 15th.
So you live next door to each other?
I believe he lives in the apartment next to mine, yes.
How long have you lived in your apartment?
About 6 years, but I haven't always stayed with my grandmother, and that's where she stays, and I stay with her currently.
Could you speak a little slower and try to keep the hair out of your eyes when you're talking to me?
Yes.
Thank you. On September 15th, where were you living?
With my grandmother in Torrance.
And is that where you live as well?
Yes, it is.
Prior to September 15th, you didn't know each other?
I didn't.
Not at all.
Okay. So why don't you start out by telling me what happened on September 15th, starting out with the time?
My first time interacting with him, I was crossing the street to go to work with channel locks, boots, and other...
With what?
With like channel locks, pliers for work. I had those in my hand along with boots and other things that I needed. And as I was almost going to finish crossing the street, he started to honk, and I flipped him off because...
Okay, so he was driving.
Yes.
So you were crossing the street.
Yes.
He was driving. Were you walking slowly? Just a second, Seth. So he was walking slowly.
Very, very slowly.
How very, very
Like
slowly?
at
Just
the-
listen to me. Listen, what I want you to do is, who is this?
Oh, that's my girlfriend.
This is your girlfriend. I want you to stand between your girlfriend and the desk. Right here. Right there. Now I want you to walk in front of your bench and show me how fast he was walking.
Probably about this, like...
No, that's
Like a
not true.
snail's pace.
Yeah, that's not true. Now go back, and I want you to rethink this again, Seth. I want you to rethink it. Do you understand?
Yes.
You know how old I am? Nobody crosses the street like that, sir, unless they're looking to irritate you. And you hadn't even had any contact with him before that, so he wasn't walking backwards. Now show me how he was walking.
Probably about...
But that's okay. That's better. Now go back. Okay. Did he have the right of way? Is not an answer.
He did not.
All pedestrians have the right of way, sir.
It wasn't on a crossing guard.
So he was crossing in the middle of the street?
Yes, between the median.
Explain that to me.
There's a median between the street on Artesia, and it was like walking off of there. No like crosswalk or anything.
What time was this?
It was in the morning, I think about 10 a.m.
Okay, so you're crossing the street. Wasn't fast enough for him. He honked the horn at you. You flipped him off.
Yes.
Okay, let's go from there.
And then when I flipped him off, he got very mad, and he
Just tell me what he did. Don't tell me he got mad. Mad is his state of mind. Just tell me what he did. You
Okay.
flipped him off. Did
Yeah.
you say anything?
No, I didn't at that point. He was in his car with the windows up.
Okay, was he alone?
He was with his girlfriend at the time.
That would be you. Yes. Do me a favor, please. Kevin, take her outside.
This way.
Okay, so he's with his girlfriend. You flipped him off now.
So he parks his car in the middle of the street.
He stops in the middle of the street.
Yes, and he gets out, and he starts to get loud. He's like you need to learn some respect, and
Is that what he said to you? You have to learn some respect?
yes, he said like something along the lines of I'm gonna teach you some respect, or you need to learn some respect, because I flipped him off, and
Just a minute. So far, Seth, listen to me. You're driving your car with your girlfriend. He's walking very slowly. You honk your horn at him. He turns around. He flips you off. You stop the car. Is that correct?
Yeah. But
Not yeah. Not yeah. That's a yes.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am is even better.
Lucille Chacon claims her neighbor, Seth Kaufman, damaged her car during a fight with her grandson, James.
Okay, you stopped the car. Did you get out of the car?
Yes, because
Okay.
I was.
Just a second. You stopped the car. And when you stopped the car in the middle of the street.
I pulled off to the side. But
Was it in a parking lane?
Yes.
Listen, was it in a parking lane that you pulled over?
Yes.
Okay, so you pulled over into a parking lane and got out of your car.
Yes, and put on my emergency lights as well.
Well, what was the emergency? Think about that for a second. I want you to tell me what the emergency was. Is not an answer.
It's not an answer. You're right, ma'am. He was yelling obscenities at me, so I yelled some obscenities back.
No. He wasn't yelling obscenities to you, sir. He flipped you off.
He left out the part where he also yelled obscenities at me.
You mean after you honked the horn at him?
Yes.
What did he say?
Along the.
Not along the line. I want you to think about what he said. You know, I got a crystal ball here. I want you to think about what he said, and you can tell me. Nothing makes me blush.
He basically just said.
Not basic. Listen,
he said
basically is a filler word. What did he say?
Am I allowed to cuss, ma'am? Here, because it was curse words.
Are you allowed to say it? I said to you. I've heard everything.
Okay. He basically said I was a.
Not basically,
ma'am.
Not basically. What did he say?
He said I was. He said I was a bitch. He said I was a lot of things.
Now, just a second. Now, he said all these things to you while he was crossing the street and flipping you off.
Yes.
I'm not sure I buy that. My friend Seth, I think they may have said those things to you after you stopped and you started to argue with him. But all that didn't happen. You're driving in the driving lane. You honk your horn because you're a little impatient, which is sort of stupid, but you're only 22. And he flips you off. You pull off to the side. This all happened very fast.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Common sense. That's what the world is all about. You pull off and then you get out, and then you start back and forth with him.
No, Judge. Because he actually did start yelling obscenities when I had my windows down. He mentioned the fact that my windows were up. They were not. They were down because it was a hot day. So I could hear him yelling the obscenities because it was when he started flipping me off. It was.
Yeah, so why don't you just keep going? What difference does it make to you? If he calls you a couple of names, you're in the car with your girlfriend, what difference does it make? You keep moving.
Ego, I guess, ma'am.
Well, you can call it ego, you can call it the stupid gene, you can call it whatever you want, but you don't pull over in your car because somebody calls you a name after you act like a jerk and honk your horn at them as they're crossing the street and get out of your car. Okay, so now you're an idiot. Now let's move forward. So now you're yelling at each other. Next.
After that, he said we could fight.
No, look here.
Sorry, he said we could fight, so.
He said to you could fight?
Yeah, we both.
No, not we both. I want to know what he said to you. He's crossing the street. He's got things in his hands. According to you, he says to you, do you want to fight?
Yes.
And?
And I agreed.
And you said, sure, I want to fight.
Yeah. It's mutual combat.
Dumb and dumber. Go ahead. So he said, do you want to fight? You said, sure. This is all because he honked your horn because somebody wasn't walking fast enough in front of your car. You know how stupid that sounds?
Pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I'm aware it sounds stupid now coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. You know, what you got to say is, I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, keep going.
After he agreed to that.
He agreed to fight with you?
Yeah, he agreed. After that, when it was just me and him, my girlfriend was trying to tell me, like, just stop. We can both, just leave, which I should have listened to her. I understand that. Yes.
Was she still in the car?
No, she had come out with me to, try to dissolve the situation.
Okay, so, you know, she's out someplace now where she can't hear what's going on here, which is why I had her escorted from the courtroom. So she's going to tell me that when you pulled over, she said, do not get out of the car.
Yeah.
Don't get out of the car.
Yes.
That sounds like something I would say to my husband when somebody cuts him off and he pulls off and he goes running out of the car. You're 90 years old. Who are you going to fight with? Go ahead. You know, but sometimes you don't get smarter. Sometimes the work in progress just gets stunted. Keep going.
After that, when we both agreed to fight.
And your girlfriend is telling you...
Trying to stop me from doing everything. That's when he pulled out about an 8-inch combat knife that was completely camouflaged. Wish I had a picture of it. But it was about that big enough to hurt me, basically. I
don't care what size a knife is. A knife is a knife is a knife. It could be an inch long.
I agree.
A knife.
But yeah, it was a pretty big knife. And then after that, when we were just yelling at each other, I didn't leave after he pulled out the knife because I was kind of like, I can't believe you pulled out a knife on me. I was just shocked by it. a neighbor came over and started trying to break us up as well, and so did my father. My father came over because he just so happened to be outside and tried to stop us too. So that day it got dissolved, like the whole situation.
And?
The next day is when we really had an altercation.
Oh, so this is just an appetizer.
Yes.
Of what happened the next day, which
Yes.
was September 16th.
Yes.
So now your father is there, your girlfriend is there, you're separated.
Yes.
Then you saw each other again the next day.
Correct.
Take it from there. Now you saw each other the next day. What happened the next day? So far we don't have anything except, did you take out a knife on the 15th? That's an answer, yes or no?
No.
You did not?
No.
You did not have a knife with you?
Yes, I did.
You did. Where was it?
In my waistband.
So it was there?
Yes.
Okay. And visible?
Yes.
Okay. And what kind of a knife was it?
Camouflage knife with a...
How big?
About this big.
Okay. And who else was out there? He was there with his girlfriend, and his father came to sort of break things up, and it was broken up, and you got back into your car and drove off.
Yes.
So far, correct?
Yes.
Let's go to the next day.
So the next day, I was sitting in my car in front of the apartment that I live at.
You mean your grandmother's car?
Yes. And I noticed that he was, like, on the median that he was talking about on Artesia, he was already crossed on that side, and he was with his girlfriend. And he had noticed that I was sitting in my car, and he had already had his knife out, and he came up to me, and he tried stabbing me. He stuck his knife in the car, already yelling before I could even acknowledge his existence. He came up to me yelling, upset, and he...
What was he yelling?
He was like, what's up? He was like, what's up? What happened yesterday? Like, what about yesterday? You called me. What about now? Because he had a knife now, and I guess the day before he felt like he didn't. So he came up to me with a knife and immediately stuck it in the window, tried poking me, and as I tried to get out, he kicked the door about 5 times while I was trying to get out, crushing me and also shutting the doors. I'm trying to get out, and by the time I got
What were you
out,
trying to get out for?
to not get stabbed, because I couldn't pull off because he was on the left side of my car, and that's the side I needed to go onto the road, so I couldn't drive off.
Unless you ran him over.
Yeah, and I didn't want to kill him.
He had a knife. He was stabbing you.
Yeah.
You could have killed him.
Lucille Chacon and her grandson James are accusing their neighbor, Seth Kaufman, of damaging her car during a fight with James.
Okay, keep going.
So at that point, I got out and I followed him.
Okay, just a second. So then you were able to get out of your car because he walked away.
He didn't walk away.
Well, then, because you say you were following him, which means that you were behind him, which means he was walking away.
No, he was facing me and I was facing him, and I was kind of like walking him back around my car, because I was trying to go to my gate and get inside instead of driving off.
Well, why didn't you drive off? Now he's away from the car. Why didn't you just drive off?
I just didn't want to get stabbed. I wasn't sure what to do. It all happened very fast.
So you didn't want to get stabbed, so you got out of your car.
Yeah, and I was trying to go
Is that pretty
inside.
stupid, right?
Yeah, well, I was trying to avoid hitting him with the car.
Nah. Go.
He was parked in the fire lane, and there was no cars in front of him. He could have pulled off.
No, not coulda, woulda, shoulda. Just tell me what happened.
I was walking across the street. Me and my girlfriend were actually having a little bit of a spat.
My girlfriend and I.
Oh, my girlfriend and I, you're right. We're having a little bit of a spat. She was leaving. I was going across the street to go, talk to her, settle things down.
So you were having a fight with your girlfriend?
Yeah, little verbal altercation.
What were you having a fight about?
I don't even remember. Something small and stupid, probably. And then while I was walking across the street, I heard James from his car, who put down his window, start yelling at me. Again, more obscenities. You're a bitch, you're this, you're that. So I thought he wanted to start stuff again. And it seemed like he did. So I walked up, I started talking to him. Like, do you want to fight again? The exact same thing I said the day before, and the exact same thing happened. He pulled out a knife that he had in his waistband, and yeah, we just kept yelling at each other back and forth. My girlfriend, again, tried to get in between us and stop everything that was going on.
Okay, so what you're saying to me that he instigated what happened on the 16th of September by shouting at you when you were crossing the street to talk to your girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then you came back to the car to confront him as to why he's calling you names again.
Exactly.
And then from inside his car, he took out a knife?
The exact same knife, yes.
The exact same knife?
Yes.
And what did you have?
Nothing.
Now, you knew he had a knife from the day before.
Yes, I did.
So why would you go over to his car unless you yourself had some sort of something to protect yourself with?
I didn't really care about protecting myself. I was just more angry than anything. And that does sound stupid, but it's the truth. I was just really upset with the fact that we could have had mutual combat the day before, which we both are adults, we agreed to. Could have done that, but he wanted to pull out a weapon when...
And this all started because he wasn't walking fast enough across the street?
Yes, this all started because he wasn't walking fast enough across the street, yes.
Mm-hmm. How did Mrs. Chacon's car get damaged?
When I was trying to defend myself from him, like I said, he had a pretty big knife. He says that he was following me.
No. I asked you a question. He did not damage his own car.
He did not.
You damaged his car. How did you damage his car, and with what? What?
I guess my body when I was trying to defend myself.
Well, how
I
did
didn't
you
even
do
realize it happened until it happened.
Yeah, but I'm going to see pictures of it, I assume. Do you have photographs? I assume I'm going to see pictures of the damage to the car.
I do not have photos of the car.
No, they do.
Oh, yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, you don't know exactly how their car got damaged.
No, not exactly.
Did you break a window?
That's what they told me I did.
No. You were there.
I was there. I don't remember doing that, though. I don't.
Did you break a windshield?
I believe it was the back, not window, but the little tiny part that's connected to your back window in the back of your car? One of those tiny ones. Not the window, but the little glass part over here.
The little glass part, that's usually called a window.
Yeah.
What about holes in the car?
Holes?
Holes. Would there be any pictures of holes in the car?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. And would there be any marks where there was any kicking to the car?
There shouldn't have been. No, ma'am.
You don't remember kicking the car?
No, I don't.
Do you remember what kind of car it was?
BMW.
Okay. Now, let's go back. Now he's with the girlfriend. Pick it up.
So he's...
September 16th. You're in your car, sitting in the fire lane. Did you hear what he just told me?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
No, it's not. He damaged my car when I had gotten out of it. We went to the back, and that's where I had to go to my gate and
Go to your what?
To my gate inside of my apartment. And his girlfriend was screaming to just stop everything because the day before it was something traumatic, I'm sure, for her as well already. And it was the same, like calling each other that. And so we were just standing there across from each other on the sidewalk. And then he back because he's close to my car, so he kind of backhands it, and he does that to the trunk. And his hand goes through the glass, so it cuts him, and the back of the car has a hole in it.
Can I see the photographs of the damage? Oh, well, that would be what we call like a 2-year-old. That would be called a window. What I want you to do is, I see the broken window. What I want you to do, James, is Kevin is going to give you a pen, something that will show up on this, and I want you to make a circle as to where you allege there's damage to your car, your grandmother's car, other than the window.
I believe there was one more picture in the stack that showed the door that he kicked.
Well, I'd like to see it. Okay. What's the damage here?
Like a scratch, like a line across.
And what was that made with?
I think with the knife.
Okay, good. Now, Kevin, would you go and bring in Mr. Kaufman's girlfriend? What is her name?
Kyla.
He attempted to slash her with a knife.
Correct.
No.
You were taken into police custody.
They tried to charge me with assault with a deadly weapon.
Was this the first time you ever spent time in jail? Of course not. It's clear to me that your grandson has some growing up to do.
This is Judy Justice. Previously on Judy Justice.
Ms. Khan, you are here today because you believe that the defendant is responsible for damage that was done to your car that was being driven by your grandson.
Yes.
My first time interacting with him, as I was almost going to finish crossing the street, he started to honk, and I flipped him off.
And?
The next day is when we really had an altercation.
I was sitting in my car. He came up to me with a knife and immediately stuck it in the window, tried poking me. He kicked the door about 5 times while I was trying to get out.
How did Mrs. Chacon's car get damaged? So as far as you're concerned, you don't know exactly how their car got damaged.
No.
Now, Kevin, would you go and bring in Mr. Kaufman's girlfriend? What is her name?
Kyla.
And now, the conclusion. Lucille Chacon is suing her neighbor, Seth Kaufman, for car damages resulting from a fight with her grandson.
Now you can sit down. I want to talk to Kyla. You can sit down. Kyla, what's your last name?
Steed, S-T-E-E-D.
How long have you and Seth been a couple?
Going on 2 years now.
He has bad temper.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. We're going to go back because you were driving in the car with him.
Yes.
Plaintiff's grandson was crossing the street. Where were you going?
I don't really remember.
Think.
Probably to the store, or like to get something to eat.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You live together?
No. Well, yes.
Just a second. That's either a yes?
Yes.
Or a no, or a sometimes. It's never a maybe.
It's a yes.
Where do you live together?
I live in his car.
You live in his car?
Yes.
And where does he live?
He lives with his mom.
How long have you been living in his car?
A good minute. I'm not sure.
A month, a week, 6 months?
I don't know. can't think of the time.
Do you ever go to his mom's house?
Sometimes.
You ever stay over at his mom's house?
Sometimes.
Okay. So I want you to tell me what happened on September 15th when the plaintiff crossed the street.
I don't really remember. Yeah, I can't really remember.
Where do you
how it
come
started.
from? Where do you live now? In what county, city?
Oceanside.
California.
Yes.
How old are you?
22.
So I'm going to try to refresh your recollection so that we can start.
Okay.
Because not remembering doesn't work for me.
Okay.
This young man was crossing the street. You're driving with your boyfriend in his car where you sometimes live. You're a passenger. He's a driver.
Okay.
He's crossing the street. Your boyfriend honks the horn. He flips him off.
Okay.
Your boyfriend pulls over into a parking lane, puts on his hazards, according to him. What do you say to your boyfriend?
I think I just follow him and...
Followed him where?
To go get back in the car, basically.
That's what you told him. So far, so good. Get back into the car, let it go. When he pulled the car over, did you tell him to let it go and just go?
I think so.
Think.
I just remember... I don't remember.
Okay. You've been with him 2 years, correct?
Yes.
And the place where he lives, his father also lives. Is that right?
Yes.
What's his father like?
He's a pretty nice guy.
Did you ever see Seth with a knife?
No.
Does he have one?
Not that I know of.
Does he have any weapon?
Not that
that you ever saw?
No.
What about his father?
His father have a weapon?
Mm-hmm. Ever see?
Not that I know of.
Now I want you to go back to back in your memory, to the next day. This is the day after this incident happened in the street. And ultimately, his father was there. Between you and his father, you got him to separate, and you all went on your merry way.
Yes.
On the 15th. Now I want you to think back to the 16th, which is the day after.
Okay.
You and your boyfriend were outside, and you were having an argument.
Yes.
And you walked away from him, and you went to the median in the street.
Yes.
Okay. What was the argument about?
I did something to upset him.
What did you do?
I was talking to another guy.
That he saw, or that was on a text?
It was on a text.
Okay. And so he was upset?
Yes.
Where had you been right before you got outside?
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's when we were at his dad's house, inside his dad's house.
So you were at Dad's house?
And if not, it was either in his dad's house or outside in the car.
Okay. Was he yelling at you? What was he saying to you? I mean, I could understand him being pretty upset. I mean, after all, he let you live in his car.
Remember.
Right? And now he sees you talking on the phone. What he said, he sees you talking on the phone to texting, probably, another guy.
Yes.
And he's angry.
Yes.
And he has a little bit of a temper that you've seen occasionally. I would say that that's probably true, right? You saw it the day before. So you started to walk away.
Yes.
And did he follow you?
Yes, he did.
Followed you.
Yes.
And what was he saying as he followed you?
I don't remember. I think he was trying to get me to leave.
What do you mean, you were already leaving?
Yeah. Or I really don't remember. I'm pretty sure he was trying to get me to, like, not be around him anymore.
So what was he saying to you? And was he saying it in a loud way or in a quiet way?
Like medium, like not so loud, but like still loud.
So he's following you into the median, and then you're there. So you actually saw everything that happened. Where was the plaintiff's car?
I think it was across the street.
Yes. And so you saw his plaintiff's car. Now he's coming out after you, and he is angry.
Yes.
Go ahead. I want you to tell me next about what happened in the confrontation between Seth and James and the car.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Don't say I don't remember.
Okay.
Let's go.
I really can't remember.
Would you have remembered better if you were sitting in the courtroom and you heard him testify? Would you have remembered better?
Yes.
That's why you weren't here.
Lucille Chacon claims her neighbor, Seth Kaufman, owes for car damages after fighting with her grandson, James.
Now tell me what happened.
I don't remember. I remember...
You do understand, Seth. You do understand, Seth, that because she can't remember, you're going to pay for the damage to the car. You do understand that?
I do not understand.
Oh, well, I'm telling you, if she is so intimidated by you that she can't tell me...
Oh, you think it's
that she can't tell me what happened on September 16th. That she can't tell me what happened on September 16th, and she's your witness, you're going to pay for the damage to the car. Do you understand? I want you to be clear about that. Kyla, if you can't remember, he's going to pay for the damage to the car.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
Now, do you have any memory of what happened on September 16th other than the fact that he was angry that you were texting with another guy?
I remember crossing the street, and then next thing I know is I hear yelling. So I turn around, and They're going at each other.
What does that mean? Tell me.
They're yelling at each other.
Just yelling?
Just yelling.
Okay, and so now you have to watch them. They're yelling at each other.
I get in between them.
Because they're yelling at each other. You walked over to where they were.
Yes.
And physically put your body in between them.
Yes.
Okay. Was James in his car or out of his car?
I think he started off in his car. And
that's correct.
I don't remember how it started, but he had somehow tried to get out. I guess my boyfriend kicked the door, and then that's when he grabbed it. Like, he had got out eventually, and then he had a knife in his hand. James did.
Yes.
And that's when I kind of backed up, but I was still trying to tell Seth to, like, let's just go and leave it alone.
Smart.
And after that, it kind of just ended. The cops had came.
Okay, good. Now you can change places with each other. Okay. Now I'll see an estimate for the damage. Now they have to put a window in the car and take out a dent. What happened when the police came, James?
When the police showed up, they arrested both of us and separated us almost immediately. And I'm not sure where they put him, but they put me in the back of a cop car.
And then what happened?
And then I was taken to jail. And they tried to charge me with assault with a deadly weapon, but they realized soon that I was a victim and they dropped my charges.
Don't tell me what they realized. You were arrested, and at the time of your arrest, you had the knife with you.
It was in the grass somewhere.
You had thrown it in the grass?
Yes.
Okay, so at the time... I love this job. So at the time of your arrest, despite the fact that he told them that you had a knife, you disposed of the knife. So at the time that the police came, you had no knife.
Yes.
Great, love this. Okay, did you have the window? Now you can sit down. Well, just don't sit down. You can stand next to your grandmother. He did not cause $4,000 of damage to your car, madam. You had to have the dent taken out, maybe two, and you had to replace a window, which is a big deal. Do you know how much that was?
I haven't replaced it. I can't afford it. The window's still broken. The dents are still in the car. And there's also a scratch right around the car. And
I don't know how that happened.
There's more than 2 dents. There's about 4 or 5 dents in the door.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him drive the car anymore. Do you let him drive the car anymore?
He has to get to work, and I can't always take him.
So the answer is you still let him drive the car?
Yes.
So you drive the car and you leave it outside with a broken window?
Well, we have the window covered so
with
that the rain doesn't get in there. And we're using my car right now. We very seldom use the BMW now. It's parked in the back.
Sarah, could you please find there the cost of fixing the window, if you can?
Sure.
So you disposed of the weapon before you were taken into police custody. Were you ultimately let go?
Yes, after 3 days.
So you spent 3 days in jail?
Yeah.
Did you see a lawyer?
I don't believe I did.
You had to have been arraigned.
It was a public defender.
Well, that's a lawyer.
I wasn't quite sure.
That the person was a lawyer?
Or a public defender. I don't know the difference, to be honest.
Public defender is a lawyer.
Or
It does it cheaper. I want a lawyer. I don't have a lawyer. I have a legal aid.
I see for a tint glass, but it doesn't break out besides taxable parts and labor, but it doesn't break out for...
See if you can look up replacing a BMW small window, Sarah.
Okay.
See if you can find that, because that's what he's going to do.
Actually, I think there's a line item here, rear door stationary vent glass, remove, replace, $133 at the very bottom, the last line item, if you want to just take a look. And then there is an additional tint glass. Here, I'll just circle it. I circled it for an additional $75.
Your Honor, may I speak? He also put a dent in the back of in the trunk with his knife.
He didn't have a knife.
He did have a knife.
Maybe. But so far I have no proof that he had a knife. I know he had a knife.
Okay.
I know he had a knife that he was smart enough to dispose of before he was arrested. Do you understand?
I understand.
Very good.
Lucille Chacon claims the defendant, Seth Kaufman, refuses to pay for car damages after starting a fight with her grandson, James.
What I'm telling you is he was smart enough to dispose of his knife before he was arrested. Do you understand? If the police had found the knife on him, probably would have been a whole different story. Was this the first time you ever spent time in jail?
No.
Of course not. Immediately prior to this incident, when had you been in jail before?
About a week.
For what?
Domestic violence.
Against whom?
My ex-girlfriend.
Great. What happened with that case?
She attacked me, so I smacked her once, and then some neighbors saw and called the cops.
Now, that was about a week before. Immediately prior to that.
That was it, the domestic violence and then the assault with a deadly weapon.
2 things.
Yes.
The only time that you've been arrested.
Yes.
Really? What about you?
Well, I didn't get arrested that day.
No. Prior to September 16th, when had you been arrested immediately before?
Never.
Never.
I'd been detained before.
You've been what?
Detained, where they'd sit you on the curb and stuff, but never arrested. Me and my girlfriend were having a spat outside. We got detained because the neighbor said we were too loud, but we weren't arrested. We were just talked to, told to quiet down, and then we all went on our way.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this, Ms. Chacon. You got to stop thinking that he's an innocent victim. Do you understand?
Yes.
He's 19 years old, right?
Yes.
How old are you?
74.
Ever been arrested?
No.
I'm 81. Never been arrested. 26. Never been arrested. I don't even have to go on this side. You got the gist of what I'm saying to you. He's 19. He was arrested twice within 1 week. Doesn't that tell you something?
Either he's several times, yes.
We talked about what?
About him staying out of trouble and just concentrating and working, which is what he's doing now.
Okay.
And he did have the money to buy that car. He had worked a whole year putting money away for the down payment on the BMW.
And?
So he's very responsible. And also on the police report, it was mentioned that they believe he hit the window with the back of the knife, and that's how he cut his hand.
Oh, I'd like to see the police report, please, before I make a decision about how much your grandson is going to contribute to fixing the car. Because both of these characters acted inappropriately. You would agree with that, Ms. Chacon, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Perfect. So that they should both bear the responsibility. One, it's really Dumb and Dumber. Oh, so the same police officer who arrested you this time arrested you in the domestic violence case?
Yes.
Let's read on. How come neither one of you told me? Stand up. Over there. Did you tell the police that he tried to stab her with a knife?
Yes, I did.
How come in all this conversation that we had today so far, we've been at this for 40 minutes, I never heard from you that he tried to slash her with a knife?
I didn't want to talk out of turn. I was waiting for my turn to talk.
You idiot.
There was a few things
idiot.
left out.
So far, I have to tell you what you've told me about yourself, that you got out of your car because someone disrespected you, right? That you went over to him because... whatever, because you had a big fight with your girlfriend about something else. That you told me. The most important thing that's in this police report is your claim that everybody else denies, that he attempted to slash her with a knife.
Correct.
That you forgot to tell me.
Yes. Okay. Let's all forget it and didn't have the time to.
Okay, I'm finished with this case. I don't have to read it anymore. It's clear to me that your cross your hands.
Sorry.
It's clear to me that your grandson has some growing up to do. First, you should get him to take the hair out of his eyes. He'd be more successful. He could see where he's going. Second thing is, he's going to pay for half the damage to your car. And at most, the damage to your car is $1,000. So he's going to pay $500 because all I'm charging them is $500. Do you understand?
Yes.
We're done. Thank you very much. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500.
This court is adjourned.
Goodbye.
I'm happy with the judge's decision. I think that James was equally, if not more, responsible for what happened that day than I was, so I'm glad that she made him at least pay for half of it.
I respect that. I respect her decision.
I should have been better about my anger. I don't need to lose my temper like that.
I mean, as the judge said, I could have murdered him. Those are her words.
I think that I was acting a little stupid those 2 days. The next day, I thought about it a lot. Like, I didn't need to do any of this.
I was simply going to work. I don't instigate fights.
People carry guns. A lot of people carry a lot of other illegal things that they can just use on you at any time, so.
My words were, I don't want to fight you, and when I showed him my waistband with the knife, he didn't want to fight anymore either.
Basically, just gotta check my ego.
Just keep doing what I want to do.
This whole thing could have been avoided if two young men just checked their egos a little bit. Got way out of hand for literally no reason. No reason. Walking a little too slow to cross the street.
I think that it's a very deep pathology. Those 3 young people is a very sad pathology. Not sure what her issues are, but the 19-year-old looks like butter could melt in his mouth until he opens his mouth. And he's clearly got his grandmother sort of a little bamboozled.
What started off as 2 young employed people who thought it was going well.
It went south fast.
Yeah. Looks like a job won't save everybody, but...
Better be unemployed and a nice person than employed and going down a very negative path.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. Very sad.
Agreed.
Case 3115, Brockett versus Carrillo. All parties, please come forward.
Caregiver Cyan Brockett is suing her former client, Catherine Carrillo, for unpaid wages, verbal assaults, and lying to her employer.
Ms. Brockett, it's your claim that the defendant owes you money because she refuses to sign a time card for you. And your vocation is you are a home health aide paid by the state. How long have you had a home health aide?
Since 2018.
I believe that you indicated in your answer that you have MS?
Yes, I do.
How long have you had MS?
Since I was 42, I was diagnosed with it.
How old are you now?
65. A while.
Long time.
I walk to try to keep my strength and muscles going in my legs.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How long have you had the home health aide?
The service was provided to me by disability through Social Security, and that was since 2018.
And when did the plaintiff take you on as a client?
From February 23rd to March 24th, when I terminated her.
And which time cards of hers, because you have to sign a time card, correct?
I get an email that says a timesheet has been submitted by Cyan Brockett. So the first 2 weeks I approved, which I even did with hesitation because she wasn't doing the work that she was hired to do.
But you signed it?
It's electronic signature.
Okay. But you didn't fire her after 2 weeks?
Because she kept promising that she would make up the hours to me.
How many hours a day was she supposed to spend with you?
It was 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And she would come and sit down on my sofa and she would start texting and receiving phone calls and talking. And then one time she said, oh, Access didn't pick up my mom. I got to go. I'll make this up to you later. And she got up and left.
Okay, so that was, don't speak. So that was one time?
That was one time.
Okay.
And another time she was texting a lot. I go, there's work that needs to be done that you agreed to do, and we need to get it done. And she goes, oh, I'm having a birthday party for my niece. And she showed me a picture on her phone of a cake with the Chanel, the 2 C's on it. And she goes, I'm paying for this for my niece. I got a lot of planning to do for her party. So I have to go. And I said, but what about the work that needs to be done? She goes, well, I could always come on the weekend and do it. So she never did do the hours.
Okay, so that's 2 times out of 2 weeks, and that's Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Well, that's the first 2 weeks. What happened in the second 2 weeks?
Well, I had to go to the pharmacy, and I said I needed to pick up my medication. And then I went in the pharmacy to get my medication. She stayed in the car, and I went and got back in the car, and she came and dropped me off. She said she had to go to her next client. And I said, it hasn't even been 45 minutes. And she said, yeah, well, I'll be back tomorrow. And then she didn't come back the next day, and I was calling her, and she didn't even answer her phone.
Okay.
Giver Cyan Brockett claims her former client, Catherine Carrillo, owes for unpaid wages.
Now, what time is she due at your house?
She was supposed to be there at 9, from 9 to 2.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are you telling me that you always got there at 9?
Yes, I am.
Every day that you were there?
Every day. Until March 24th, when she asked me to come at 9:30, which was a Friday.
Why did she say to come at 9:30?
Because her and her friends were going to walk at Apollo Park, and that she wanted to exercise and be with her friends. So instead of coming at 9, could I come at 9:30?
Do you remember that?
I remember that conversation and that particular instance, but I did not ask her to come at 9:30 because my friend would leave to go for her walk at Apollo Park with some other friends at 6 in the morning. So I was going to be back at 9. And I even told her I would be back at 9. And I was back before 9, and she never came at 9.
What time did she come?
At 9:30, I was still waiting for her, and then I got a call from her. I guess it was about 9:45, and she said that she came and she had been there, and she waited over a half hour for me, and then she left. And I asked her, why did you leave when you're supposed to be with me 5 hours a day anyways? And I told her I was back, and she told me that I wasn't back, and I was.
Does she have access to your apartment?
No, she was waiting outside in her car, according to her.
Okay.
And I have text messages to prove it was not 9 o'clock, it was 9:30. And she didn't get back until 10.
Okay. If she got back at 10, how far do you live from her house?
I wasn't even at her house. I was at another client's house in the same senior living. And she knew that. So all she had to do was call me, and I would have been at her house.
On March 24th, you say, Catherine texted me, your first name is Catherine.
Yes.
And said she was now at home. I told her it was not my job to wait around for her.
Right.
Well, it is your job if you want to get paid for that day.
I'm not asking to get paid.
Just a second. So you're not asking to get paid for that day?
No, I'm asking to get paid for the other days that I worked up until that day.
Okay. Well, the 24th, but you left on the 24th.
Yes.
So what days are you asking to get paid for?
March 16th to March 23rd.
Would you show me a calendar? How many days was that during the week?
The 16th of 2023 would have been a Thursday.
Thursday. So
the
16, 17.
So that's 2 days. The 20th would have been Monday, the 21st, Tuesday, 22nd, Wednesday, 23rd, Thursday, 6 days.
You were asking to get paid for 6 days?
Yes.
Which you were actually present?
I was actually present and working.
Now, the first 2 weeks, you've described to me 2 events that happened within the first 2 weeks. In the second 2 weeks that she worked for you, and we're really talking about 6 days only in the next 2 weeks, because that's all the days that she actually worked. Do you have specific days that she wasn't there?
She's saying she was there, and she never did any of the work that she was hired to do.
Well, that's a different story. Then you should have fired her. But if she was there, She was there.
When she was there, she was talking on the phone and texting.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
That's a lie.
Yeah, but she was at your house talking on the phone.
Yes.
Okay. Now, show me how much you were paid per hour.
At that time, we were paid $17.25 per hour. As of January 1st, we got a raise to $18 an hour.
$17.25 is what you were earning at the time you worked for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Righty. Sarah Rose, you have your computer out?
Yeah.
We're going to do $17.25 times 5. How much?
$86.25. $86.25.
Times 6.
$517.5.
$517.50. Okay. Now, punitive damage for malicious lies to employers.
Yes. She called IHSS, the company that pays us, and said that the reason why she refused to sign my timesheet was because I left the country.
Okay. I'd like to see proof of that.
I don't have that proof.
Well, then you don't get paid for that.
She also verbally attacked me on May 19th.
Okay, so I'd like you to tell me what happened on May 19th.
On May 19th, she caught me outside in Gardens 2, which is in the back and not part of her section. And up until this time, I had never seen her back there. So she was stalking me and found me, and she called me a liar, a thief, and a fraud, and a bitch.
Okay.
And I could not do anything about it. And I was embarrassed because she did it in front of my employer.
Your Honor, that's a complete lie. I walk my dog, and I have a map here of the complex, and I was walking, I do the big circle
Just
first.
tell me what you said to her.
I didn't say nothing to her. She came out and she told me, I want my money. And I turned around and I said, get away from me. She goes, you're going to pay me. You're going to be sorry. I'm going to sue you. You're going to pay court costs. I'm going to make you pay for my attorney. I said, don't talk to me and get away from me. And I kept walking. I never stopped. I never stalked her.
Okay.
I also reported the incident to the office where she lives, and she has more than one incident.
I don't know that either.
That's not true.
Shh. I know that she has to give you $517.50 because whether you were useless working for her or not, your body was there. And if your body was there for 6 days, 5 hours a day, you're entitled to be paid. $517.50. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
Because I didn't kiss her butt.
That seems completely crazy considering she never did anything, you know.
I didn't do what she wanted. I didn't jump. I didn't wait outside my car in the freezing cold, risking my health.
And the demands of the job of an in-home support worker is to help with tasks around the house. And she never did any of them. So I don't know what was crazy about that.
Never work for her again.
I think that the defendant was really miraculous. She's had MS for 42, 52, 60, almost 25 years. Yeah. She walks her dog, she walks around the big circle, the little circle, and she really...
Just needs a few extra help with a few tasks
probably
around
a
the
little
house.
extra help with moving things, cleaning things around the house. That's it. Lucky that she lives in a country that has a good government.
Yeah.
You have an accident with it?
No, ma'am.
Lucas Sharp
I received it like
is
that.
suing
There was a
his
lot broken
former
on it,
friend,
and I feel like I should
Garrett
at least
Baker,
get reimbursed
for
for
a
that.
motorcycle deposit and breach of
This
contract.
is Judy Justice.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3135, Shire versus Baker.
Thank you. Mr. Shires, how long do you know Mr. Baker?
From now, I won't be able to give you time, but from when I bought the bike, probably about 4 months.
It is your claim that you purchased a bike, a motorbike or a
Lucas
dirt
Sharp
bike?
Motorcycle.
is
From Mr.
suing his
Baker.
former friend,
You gave
Garrett
him,
Baker,
when you purchased
for
it,
a
a
motorcycle
$2,000 deposit.
and breach of
Yes, Your Honor.
contract.
And you were supposed to
Court
make
come to
your
order.
first payment
All rise.
on
November.
1, please, of 2023.
Case 3135, Shire
The
versus
total
Baker.
purchase price was how much? Mr. Shires, how long do you
$3,400.
know Where did you get the
From now,
2000
I won't
from?
be able to give you time, but from when I bought the bike,
It
probably about 4 months. My
is your claim
apartment
that
broke
you
down, so
purchased
I
a
had some
bike,
GoFundMe
a
money, and
motorbike
then
or a dirt
also I had
bike?
money from a new
From
job I
Mr.
just
Baker.
started since.
Okay, just you gave him, when you purchased it, a $2,000 deposit. Burned down.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were supposed to make your first payment. That's an apartment that you lived in alone of 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you go after your apartment burned down?
I was living with my mom for a few
Where
weeks.
did you get the 2,000 from?
And then I moved in with my friend. I have recently, my apartment
you went
burnt
back to
down,
live
so I
with
had
your
some
mother.
GoFundMe money, and then
It's
also
not
I
an
had money
answer.
from a new job I just started.
And when
since
did you start this GoFundMe page? Let's go back.
I
Your
was not the one that
apartment
started
burned
it.
down. Who did?
My aunt.
What did she start it for?
Yes, ma'am. My insurance
That's an
ran out in my
apartment that you
2
lived
weeks
in
before.
alone?
I thought I had insurance, but I didn't.
There was a you didn't have renter's insurance. Where did you go after your apartment was burned down?
I was living with my mom for a
Replace
few
the
weeks.
items that you had
And then I
lost
moved in with my friend
in the
who lived in his
apartment.
house.
Okay. So
Any
you went back to
furniture,
live with your mother.
clothes,
is that what it was for? It's not an answer. And how much was raised on the GoFundMe page? Did you start this
A little under
GoFundMe page?
$3,000.
So
I
of
was
the
not the one that started
$3,000,
it.
who did?
My aunt.
Good-hearted, good-natured
My
people
insurance ran out in
gave
the
you
apartment 2 weeks
to
before. I thought I
replace
had insurance,
the
but I
items
didn't.
that you
So
had didn't have renter's insurance. To live. You bought a motorcycle. So it was to
Not all of it. I would say
replace the items that you
probably
lost. $2,000 of it in the apartment of it, and you put it down on a motorcycle. Clothes, is that what it was for?
The bank statements I have.
And how
I
much
started
was
a job,
raised on the
I bought the
GoFundMe
motorcycle
page?
like a couple months after. A little under $3,000.
So of the
probably used around
$3,000, first
clothes
payment on the
and
motorcycle was
helping
due
get back
November
on my
1st,
feet. So I have bank statements from
2023.
being paid for
You
my
did not
job,
make that
around
payment.
$1,400 I put
And the
out
defendant
for the bike.
repossessed your
So,
bike.
yeah, the remainder $500
But it wasn't your
cash
bike
put
yet
in,
because
yes,
he
on the
retained the
GoFundMe,
title
and
until
then
it was fully
August.
paid. First payment on the motorcycle was due November 1st, and you had the bike until 23. I think about 4 weeks. You did not make that payment.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Shires, and the repossessed that you had the bike. Did you wasn't your bike yet because he retained the title until it was fully paid. You want to deposit anyone that you would had, and you had the bike some sort of an accident about 4 weeks. Is that right? Is it your testimony that when Mr. Baker repossessed the bike, it was in the same condition as it was when you got that you had 4 weeks before? Some sort of an accident with the bike.
maybe tires got worn down.
Is it your testimony that when Mr. Baker repossessed so the only damage was the tire? It was in the same condition as it was Mr. Baker says he repossessed because you were late with your payment. You went to get it, and you gave him $50.
Well, may I say?
So the only damage was the
he said I
tires.
could be late. Yeah, I called him first when I was in Kentucky.
Mr. Baker says he repossessed it because you were late with your payment. You went to get it.
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
There's ways to adjust the paint, the color of the paint.
Well,
you can tint
Mr. Miera, she is not bringing the car to New Mexico when she now lives in Louisiana.
Yes,
because that would cost her I know I transport cars of mine when I move around, and that's very expensive. Not quite as expensive as the paint job, but close, which would mean she would have to incur a substantial expense to get you back the car from a paint job that clearly was unsatisfactory. Well, that you acknowledge as unsatisfactory because you said,
I didn't
I'll
acknowledge.
fix
I said I'd take care of it in a good gesture to try to make things work with her. I did not deny her any kind of service or say, go get lost until she started cursing at me.
No.
She didn't tell you she was cursing at me, you know?
Well, Mr. Miera, if what I say you would have to do would be to start over, sand down the car, which she did herself, according to you, because if she sanded the car...
She got a discount for working on her... She worked on her own car, so she got a discount for working on her own car. So she had her hand in it as well.
That's terrific. You're going to give her back her money, $6,500. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I think when she transported the car, the moisture and the climate that she took it to may have played a factor.
I totally disagree with what he said because I took it from his house, put it in another van.
And having the car bubble like that, but, you know, I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that could happen.
And the moisture, with what he's claiming, there's no way.
I tried to rectify the situation, and it didn't work out, so.
Time to get it looking good again.
He never got back to me about how much the 1969 Beetles were worth. And I was surprised because reading the papers, reading a $6,500 paint job, I was surprised at that. Like, that was very expensive to me. But then when I looked up how much the cars are worth, they're worth anywhere between $12,000 and $35,000 for a nicely kept, maintained vintage car, similar to the one that I saw briefly in the photos.
I'm sorry for not getting back to you.
It's okay.
I got caught up.
But I think you made the right call because after the paint job, we saw the damage or the bubbling, and I know that you or I would not be satisfied with that paint job on an asset that was worth that amount of money.
Of course.
So I think the right thing happened.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
It's okay.
I'll try not to do it again.
You.
Gigi Garcia is suing club promoter Herman Patine for a refund on concert tickets.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2184, Garcia versus Pantene.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ms. Garcia, it is your claim that you purchased some concert tickets through the defendant. You paid him for them.
Correct.
And you didn't get them.
Correct.
He has some story about you going on the wrong day. Okay. How do you know him?
Through a mutual friend.
How long do you know him?
Since September, when this mutual friend actually introduced us, and we engaged in this kind of concert ticket purchase.
No, you're getting ahead of yourself. You met him through a mutual friend. How?
We went out to a club.
Who went out to a club?
Two of my girlfriends and LP.
Went with him?
Yes.
Well, then one of your girlfriends knew him. You had not met him before?
No.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm an artist.
What kind of an artist?
Produce and sing.
You do that for a living for how long?
For 12 years.
You have family?
No, I'm by myself, yeah.
Who do you live with?
By myself and my dog.
Yourself and your dog?
Yeah, my dog, yeah.
What kind of a dog do you
have? I have a Jack Russell.
Okay. What do you know about securing tickets for concerts, music events? What do you know about it?
What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Well,
the
I
question.
know that if you're in the music business, let's say you want to go to a concert.
Okay.
You personally want to go to a concert with a friend.
Yeah.
How do you get the tickets?
It depends. You either purchase the ticket online if you want to pay the full price, or sometimes people have deal for ticket because they have in, and you get the ticket like that, and it's cheaper.
Okay. Now, I want you to tell me, Ms. Garcia, exactly how you contacted the defendant and told him that you wanted concert tickets and what you wanted concert tickets to.
So I text LP and I asked him, hey, I heard that you had concert tickets. And he said he did. He's like, oh, I have 2 concert tickets.
2 concert tickets for what?
For the Bad Bunny concert for October 1st.
When I read your complaint and answer, I didn't know who Bad Bunny was. So I looked it up and was actually astounded to find out that he is a very uber popular rapper.
So we were very, very excited.
Okay. Did you tell the defendant what you wanted the tickets for?
Yes, I told him I was going to celebrate my birthday, and it was also going to be a gift to my sister, and then my girlfriend, whose also birthday is in October.
And
so
when is your birthday?
October 8th.
And did you tell him what date you wanted the tickets for?
He indicated that he had tickets for October 1st.
And he had 2 tickets for October 1st?
He had first had 2 tickets, and then later on said, oh, I have more tickets. And that's how I acquired 2 additional tickets.
Okay, so first you said he had 2 tickets for October 1st. Now, when she called you, you said, oh, I have 2 tickets. That's what she says. Okay. I have 2 tickets. Where did you get those 2 tickets from?
From someone who's close to the artist.
Give me the name.
Oh, his name is Clint.
Last name?
I don't know. I only see him in the club. I get tickets from him all the time.
Clint from what club?
He promotes everywhere. Like he goes.
No, you said to me you got them from him at a club. I'm asking you what club.
Your Honor, actually, he had indicated that those were boxy tickets, and it was the owner of the boxy tickets that he was acquiring those tickets from.
I never said that.
The 2 tickets?
Oh, no, I
Yes.
never said
The
that.
2?
Yes.
I never said that. No.
I want you to tell me, when she called you, how come you had 2 tickets for the concert that she wanted to go to? Were you going to go yourself?
The truth is, I always go to stuff like that because I have access to those tickets. Again, even if it's for sport or basketball, I always have access to those type of tickets.
So you have access to them?
Yes.
But she said that you told her you had 2 tickets.
When I say access, if I request it, I know where to find it. So when her friend told me that, I said, yes, I can have access to those type of tickets. So maybe my language doesn't help with my grammar.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so
That's
yes,
true. Maybe,
sorry for that.
Maybe it's problematic. It could be a little bit of my hearing, but it's also a little bit of your accent.
Yes, I have an accent.
Sometimes people don't understand my accent because I was born in Brooklyn, and they say to me, "What? We don't understand you." I understand that, but you understand that sometimes people could not.
They misunderstand.
Right.
That's true.
Okay, but she told you she wanted the tickets for October 1st. There's no question she wanted to go on October 1st because she says in her complaint that she also booked a hotel room. What hotel?
It was a Sheraton.
Where is the Sheraton located?
It's by LAX.
Where do you live?
Norwalk.
Norwalk is where?
Approximately 15 miles east of LAX, off the 105.
Okay, so you wanted to stay over for the concert?
Yes. So just one correction, that my cousin was the one that paid for the stay.
And the hotel was taken for one night, and was that the night of October 1st?
Yes.
For October 1st, the night of the concert.
So all the girls were going to get together that night, have a little pre-celebration. We were going to Uber to the concert. We didn't want to drink and drive. So when we got to the concert, we'd get another Uber and then come back. We just want to be safe.
When did Mr. Patin tell you that he got extra tickets? First, he said he had 2.
And
did he tell you how much the 2 tickets were?
Yes, he indicated $150 each ticket.
How much did you pay for them, sir?
Basically, give the...
Not basically.
Huh?
Not
No,
basically.
sorry,
How much? There's this question.
It was $150.
So you are telling me that you didn't make any money?
No, because I was friend with her friend. So I was just trying to be nice for her birthday. So no, I wasn't making any money on that. I will charge more for those tickets if I want to make money. For the price of it, I will pay way more than that.
Well, so far, then you got 4 more tickets.
Correct.
But you never saw the tickets.
Correct.
Okay.
They were in LA partying with us on the 2nd. We all drank, we partied, we went to a club. He felt bad for him and got a bottle service, and I have on video.
No, he didn't.
Just a second. Just a second.
But
I
it
have on
wasn't
video.
I have on video.
I have on video.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the deal.
Don't speak.
Gigi Garcia claims club promoter Herman Patin owes her a refund for Bad Bunny concert tickets.
Did you ask the defendant to send you a copy of the tickets?
I did, on September
Just a second.
16th.
On what date?
September 16th.
Do you have an email to that effect?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it.
And just so you know, there were 2 tour dates in Inglewood at the SoFi Stadium for Bad Bunny on both September 30th as well as October 1st.
Do you know how much he made, according to what I read yesterday? In his touring for the whole of the year, I read that his tour concert in 2022 was almost $400 million. Is that about right?
Yeah, it's the number
almost
one.
$400 million.
Pretty darn close.
That's what I read. I was astounded. Since I know Frank Sinatra is no longer with us, and there isn't anybody else that I would pay that kind of money to go and see. Okay, so you're in the music business, and you have email.
Huh?
Is that right? You have an email? You have an email?
Yes, I have an
You
email.
have an iPhone?
Yes.
She asked you if you could send her copies of the tickets.
Okay.
Why didn't you send them?
Because I didn't have it at that time. I always was.
Oh, just a second.
Yes.
Because I didn't have them. That was September 16th. On what date did you get them, and from whom?
I paid for the ticket on the Monday before the concert. The guy came to pick up the money on Monday night.
When the guy came to pick up the money Monday night before the event, did he give you the tickets?
Not right away, because he never do that. He always send me that after to my wallet on the...
Now I don't understand a word you're saying.
The wallet. When I received the ticket...
You gave him the money. She sent you the money. How much money did she give you?
I was like 2,000.
Seven. How much money did you give him?
So the full amount was $1,215.
That's not how much she gave me, by the way.
No.
Just a minute. She's only
So-
suing for
so-
$715.
Yeah, so there were 2 other young ladies that also purchased, and I'm not including them in my case.
So this
just
is
mine, just what I paid.
You paid $715.
Correct.
He got more money for the tickets, but you just paid him $715.
Yeah, so these were for 6 tickets. 5 tickets for $150, 1 ticket for $165.
Okay. How did you communicate with the one person who you gave the tickets to? How did you communicate with that
Through
person?
phone. I called him.
Through the phone?
Yeah, I called him.
So you have his name on your phone?
Yes.
Have you seen him since October?
He disappeared for a while after that.
Just a second. He disappeared for a while after you say that you gave him the money.
I was in contact with them and her friend. I gave her the number because I couldn't reach out to him. And
second, that sounds like a lot of who shot John. You were able to reach out to him when you wanted to give him money, allegedly, but then he disappeared.
Basically,
just a second, is he still disappeared?
No, he's still not disappeared. But
well, where is he now?
I don't know. I haven't spoken with him.
Since when?
Since maybe like December.
Why?
Because I have nothing to tell him. She sued me. So
just a second.
Yeah.
What did you tell him about the tickets?
He said we made a mistake on the day. It was for Friday, and they went to for Saturday. So on that, he got mixed up, and I get blamed for that. But that's not fair.
Absolutely. She didn't deal with Clint. She dealt with you.
But this is why I give them the number, so they can call him directly. I did that.
But the deal was not with him. It was with you.
You don't have to answer.
Sorry.
But
you don't have to answer.
Actually, they talked to him directly.
She doesn't want to talk to him directly. She didn't deal with...
I wasn't even talking to her.
She didn't deal...
I wasn't talking to her. Her friend was talking to him directly. That's what I said.
Did she get money back from him directly?
I didn't get any money.
Just a second.
No, I'm mad. I've been blamed for something I do. And even that, I give some half of the money back to her because I feel bad about the situation.
Just a second. When did you give her back half the money?
I think 2 weeks after.
Just a second. Did he give you back any money?
He gave us $500 out of 8.
Just a second. I don't care. He gave you back $500 because he felt badly.
And it was her birthday, and they were harassing me.
Did you give her the $500 directly?
No, because I wasn't.
No. Who did you give the $500?
To her friend, because I wasn't talking to her.
To a friend?
To her friend, because I wasn't talking to her.
Just a second. Your friend only, you said, paid for 2 tickets. Mm-hmm. Well, 2 tickets at most could have been $300.
Correct.
Did your friend give you back $200?
She did.
Okay.
So I am requesting the remainder, which is $715. And that's what we had texted him on October 10th. We had asked him to pay the full amount. This is the text where...
I want to see what he said to you.
No, he did not respond to me.
He did not?
Mm-mm.
Can I tell why?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because her friend was starting threatening me, sending crazy message texts when we used to be friends, and it could be resolved another way. And when we start sending me lawyer crazy email, I'm not answering. So I say, do what you got to do, and that's it.
I mean, if you would have responded.
Just a second. So if there was a mix-up, that was a mix-up that was not her mix-up because she clearly made it her business to book a room in order to go to the October 1st concert. So that was clear. It wasn't just going to the concert. It was going to be a whole evening. What do you want, and who are you?
I'm a witness to it all.
He speaks better than me, so this is why I would like him to come, so that it might be easier for me.
Your Honor, my name's Imad. How are you? She said she booked the hotel for the 1st, but they were in LA partying with us on the 2nd because we all met up at his house. We all drank, we partied, we went to a club. He felt bad for him and got bottle service, and I have on video.
No, he didn't.
Just a second.
But
I have on video.
I have on video.
I have on video because that's what we do.
Bad.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the deal.
Don't speak. Sorry.
We have on video of them all partying with us on the 2nd. So they only...
So on the 2nd, by this time you knew you weren't going to the concert.
Yeah, I was expecting my money that night.
What?
I was expecting my money. Like, there was a mix-up. Okay, now where's our money? So we met up. They told me, hey, you know what? LP feels really bad. There was a mistake. I'm like, okay, cool. But where's my money? Because I got to pay my cousin, my sister. I got to pay my friends. I have that responsibility. They entrusted me with money, and therefore I had that responsibility. They're not going to come after him.
Okay. The tickets were for Friday night, sir. And you say you went there on Friday night.
No, you get confused on that. I wasn't going to the concert.
No, to give them the tickets. How are they supposed to get
the tickets? How do I know that? I have other stuff to do.
Just a second. Stop. I'm going to use him as a translator.
Gigi Garcia is accusing club promoter Herman Petit of purchasing Bad Bunny concert tickets for the wrong day.
Where is Clint? Speak. Where is Clint? I thought you were a witness to everything.
I've met him when he was giving him the money. We were at his house
Just a second.
Drinks.
Okay, so let's slow down a second, because you said I'm a witness to everything and I speak better than he does.
Yeah, sometimes.
So the Monday before the concert.
Correct.
You were with Clint.
I was with LP. I was with him. We were at his apartment watching Monday Night
Football. And Clint was there.
No, he called him, and then he asked me to come down with him. We went downstairs, and I never met the guy, and he gave him some money.
No, just a second.
Yeah.
So you were with him
when
he went downstairs and met Clint.
Correct.
Okay. And when he handed Clint the money, how much money did he hand him?
I couldn't tell you because I wasn't
that close.
I was next to him, but I was on my phone, and I asked him after the fact. I was like,
what did he... Let's go back. So now you're upstairs watching Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And does he get a call from Clint, or does he call Clint?
He was calling him earlier.
Okay, so he was calling Clint earlier.
Yeah.
And when he went down and gave him the money, did Clint give him anything?
No, he didn't.
Well, then what was the discussion that he had?
From what I heard was he
Don't make it up as you're going along.
No.
Don't make it up. It's very bad. It's very bad if you make things up.
No.
Okay, so if either you heard it or you didn't.
He gave him the money, and I guess it was for the tickets, because he was telling me earlier that he was getting somebody's tickets. And I'm like, I've never met her before or her friends until the night of when we all went to the club, because I was at his house. Yeah. We were drinking, her friends came over, and everything that was supposed to
And it was at that time, was that the time that he gave them back $500?
No, I don't know about that.
When did you give them back $500?
I think 2 weeks after, I can check if you want to tell the exact date. But I think 2 weeks after, and again, I did that out of my kindness. I don't want to give anything because that's not my fault. But I'm like, I feel bad. They were on me. I'm like, you know what? Here's something. He's a jester. That's what I can do. And even that, I was even willing to work with them. And I told her friends.
I don't think it was their mistake, by the way. Huh? I don't think it was their mistake. They were girls going out to celebrate. They had planned a whole evening and day of going out to celebrate. They got to the concert. You weren't there on the first, because it's your claim that they got the date confused, that they were supposed to go Friday night, the 30th. That's what you say. You were there Friday night.
We're there.
Well, the tickets were for Friday night, sir, which is what you claim.
Yeah.
And you say you went there on Friday night.
Went where?
To the concert.